opportunities quickly. And everything that I'm sharing is stuff that I'm doing right now, right? Stuff that we're doing as a business, but stuff that I'm personally working on every single day without fail. So whether that is organic social media, whether that is paid social media, whether that is offline marketing, I'm working on it all, right? And with it, you build different processes, different systems that kind of help you get a bit of your time back. Because I know lots of you, I mean, out of interest, who's currently spending more than like an hour a week on social media at the moment trying to generate some business for themselves? I'm just curious, kind of like the position that you're all in. I know there's quite a few of you that, yes, are good stuff. So you're active and you're using it. But sometimes that activity doesn't quite equate to opportunity. So the stuff that you're doing, a lot of the time you may be sitting there waiting for business to come to you. And with it, what I want to talk to you about is how you can kind of take control more than anything, because that's a big word that we use. And I've been putting this together, as I mentioned before. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate the feedback there. That's good. Now, I've been putting this together to really, I guess, share the specific steps that, I mean, we've been doing this now for coming up to 6 years, and it started off as a bit of a passion project and has turned into something that I never quite imagined it would. But with it, our focus point inside of what we do is all around revenue generation. And there are a certain, I guess, type of business or type of person, depending on what it is that you're doing, that this will be really, really relevant for. And so I do this on every single one of my workshops. So if you've attended before, then you would have seen something similar to this in the past. But with it, like, I put my presentations together for different reasons. When it comes to the demographic, though, of who this is aimed for, this is for people, number one, that are active online, but failing to get your target market's attention. So you may feel like a lot of your audience are lurkers, which is totally fine. But it's like, how do you get them to respond is one of the biggest questions I get asked. So I'm making sure that I answered that today. Lots of people that will watch this will feel like they've got a good business, but are typically reliant on referrals and inbound for opportunities. And that's totally okay to kind of begin with. But you've got to build something if you want to grow consistently every single month. One of my biggest realizations, which is really simple, really, right? It's not that complex to understand. But if you're wanting to grow consistently, you need to build something which you can drive forward. And referrals, you can run great affiliate marketing systems, et cetera, but the type of referrals that lots of people are getting and inbound opportunities are getting, they're not enough to considerably grow every month without fail. And a lot of it is kind of like up and down, right? So that's number two. The third type are the people that are frustrated right now. And for those of you that have said like 10 plus hours, 15 plus hours, I'm hoping you're getting lots of opportunity, but lots of people aren't. And so if you are, you're a minority, which is lovely to hear for you. But lots of people are frustrated that the time that they're putting in, they're just up and down results. And therefore, they're wondering why so many others are getting great results and they're not. And so this presentation today helps address those. Number 4 is the scattergun approach. So have I got anybody here that's got a bit of a scattergun approach? They're trying a little bit of this, trying a little bit of that. They're being told lots of different things should work, and they're trying to experiment with what is. Curious to know if any of you are in that position. So a few of you are. Fine, totally cool. Today, I'm going to be covering that as well. And so with it, what I want to talk to you about is like how you connect all of that activity together. Because if you're selling offline, right, whenever you're doing these sorts of things, offline, it's very much a considered approach. You're happy to spend time talking to people. You're happy to network. But online, we have this instant gratification type mindset and don't take people on a journey. So I want to talk to you about how you can do that from a leverage point of view. So you're getting some of your time back with real simplicity. And it kind of links to number 5, really, which is people's strategies. And so by the end of today, you should have a real clear understanding of what your strategy is going to be for the next 30 days to start capitalizing from your social media accounts. And the biggest thing from that is removing this feeling of hope that your clients are going to come to you. I want to make sure that you know that clients are going to come to you. And if you've been to any of my workshops before, you will know that I don't spend very much time talking to you about me. But just to give you like a brief 60 seconds, socialselling.co.uk was founded by me and 2 other of my business partners. We're a small team. And one of the things that we decided to do was disrupt a marketplace that we think is quite rotten, if we're totally honest. People are charging tens of thousands of pounds for information that they really isn't worth it. They're all regurgitating nonsense. And so what we wanted to do was build something that gives you everything that you need to be able to grow a business that you're in control of. And with it, we do it at a price point that undercuts absolutely everybody out there in the market. We have helped thousands of businesses over the last 5 and a bit years, mainly, I guess, certain like smaller companies. The majority of you, I imagine, are from smaller businesses on here today. There's over, how many of you are here today? So there's over 50 of you currently. That number is growing by the minute. But with that, a lot of you may be feeling like you're in your own way. And so by the end of this, you won't be. I'm going to make sure that you've got complete clarity and maybe that little bit more confidence of what you need to be doing to start winning from these platforms, because it's really not that hard. At the end of it, I will be talking to you about our social selling membership, our social selling academy. With it, just so you know, there's no going to be no big price drop or anything like that. What we provide is £50 a month. It includes training, it includes software, it includes an analysis, and it also includes accountability and mentorship. So we include it all. It's a passion project for us. We've got over 300 businesses. I think we're approaching 300 businesses in it now. And so we're looking for a few new members to join us at the end of this as well. Now, one of the things I always like to do is connect with you all. So one of the requests, if you scan that QR code, right, for those of you that are on your phone, don't worry about it. Just do it afterwards. Go onto LinkedIn and come and connect with me. Don't follow me. Come and connect with me. I reward anybody that shows up to these trainings, because there's nothing worse when you show up here and there's nobody there. And been there, done that, got that postcard before. So one of the things that I will do, I've been doing this for a little while now, every single month without fail. I will, for anyone that messages me the word workshop, so come and connect with me on LinkedIn, drop me a message on LinkedIn with the word workshop. Let me know that this is the one that you came to. And I'm going to be picking 3 of you now. Because of the number of you here, I'll do 3 of them. And 3 of you will win a complete and fully social media audit done by me personally, not by my team, done by me. I spend normally around about an hour and a half a month. I'm doing these for people. And I did 2 of them last month. I did 1 before that because of time. But this month I'm doing 3 just to finish the month. I've got a bit of free time. And so with it, for those of you that do, you message me, I'll pick the winner at some point over the next 24 hours. And 3 of you, should I say winners, and 3 of you will win that social media audit. And you will know if you've won it, you will be contacted. So that is for anybody that messages me the word workshop. So I'm going to get straight into this now. So that's kind of like the real starting point. Now, out of curiosity, who feels like they could do with a bit more business from social media? Like the time that they're putting in, they feel like they could get a little bit more from it. Who feels like they're in that position right now? They're wanting a few more leads, few more opportunities, a bit more revenue coming through. Perfect stuff. So there's a number of you that are. Jean, Anne, lovely to see you all. Amazing stuff. Good. Now, that all starts with the first step. And I want you to write these steps down, right? And the notes that go along with them. There are, I believe, 7 steps to this, right, as we go through. And it doesn't matter what position you're in, there's always more that you can get. So the first step is identifying the opportunity that's in front of you right now, okay? And one of the things I think lots of people struggle with is identifying the right target market on social. And so it all starts with understanding who you're trying to get hold of and where they're spending their time. What I'm seeing, I speak to around 30 to 40 people every single week with regards to their business, whether that is our own customers, whether that is the free calls that I offer, or whether that's with our corporate companies that we do consulting for. And lots of people that we speak to are trying extremely hard to sell to markets that simply aren't interested in them right now, or aren't able to see what it is that they're doing right now. So they're either selling to marketplaces that everyone else is, and it's extremely competitive, or they're selling to people that don't see their service as a priority. And a lot of you will be ignoring what's already right in front of you right now. And that might not reply directly to you at this second. However, by the end of this, you should be able to self-identify, because it was this realization of trying to find the right marketplaces and the right audiences on the right platforms that changed everything for me. And I remember sitting down with it was my mentor at the time. He's now my business partner. And what I've been able to do using that advice, finding those target markets, is build a business that's right for me. So I knew that I wanted a business that gave me elements of freedom, I guess. Like I didn't just want a job. I wanted something that would allow me to do it from anywhere in the world. Now, you may not want that, but I did. And I also wanted enough money to not really have to worry. I didn't want to be a multi-millionaire whatsoever. That wasn't the plan. What I wanted to do was be able to do what I want when I wanted to do it and not have to worry about it. That was my biggest thing. And over the last, I've just got a post going live on this today. We've just gone over a year since I left the UK. So I've been working whilst traveling for the last year. I've never done it before, always wanted to. It took me a year and a bit to really get the businesses that I'm a part of in a position where they didn't rely on me every single day. And so I've been documenting that journey for a long time, going through Europe, America, and Australia, and I'm going back to the UK next week, actually. So back in the UK next week, and I've got a countdown then to a lot of different things that are going on in my life. But like one of the biggest things that I realize is the way that you frame what it is that you do is probably one of the most important things. So when the moment it became easy for me to sell what it is that we do now in this, but also in the other stuff that I'm a part of, is because we have identified how to give our customers from a marketing point of view what it is that they want. And this is one of the biggest stumbling blocks, because the way that so many businesses frame what they do is from their own point of view, what they believe their customers need. It's not what they want. And so their offers aren't desirable. Their products and services aren't desirable. And so they find it hard to get deals over the line. They find it hard to generate new business unless it is business that's been referred to them. And so like the moment that I changed what it was that I did and the way that I framed it, whether that was in property, whether that was in education, whether that was in consulting, suddenly my customers wanted to buy. Suddenly they understood what they needed to do. Suddenly they were chasing me to get on board. And that's what the biggest thing that we have to start with here, because you will have opportunities in front of you right now on social media, whether that is Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, whatever platform it is. There will be opportunity there if you've been using it. But the way that you're showing up, the way that you're presenting what it is that you do, I can almost guarantee there is a lack of clarity there. And therefore, that opportunity isn't raising its hand and coming forward. And this is what we like really focus in on is the first initial stages. And you need to have this nailed, right, with your social media, and you learn it over time. But it's your marketing message. And so most people have different definitions of marketing message. My marketing message is what draws people in, what's going to generate the eyeballs, what's going to get the intention, whether that is on an organic platform like LinkedIn or Instagram, or whether you're paying for advertising on Facebook or on YouTube or on Google, right? There's different ways to be able to get the eyeballs, but the messages that you're putting out there, i.e. the headlines, the hooks, the stories, are the starting point. And I'm curious to know at this point, like, what is your business? If you're here right now, I'm assuming that you've got your own business, or you're doing the marketing for a company, or you're doing the sales for a company. What is it that you do? Because the way that you explain it, there's no right or wrong answer. To be fair, it's a great way to introduce yourself right now. If you want to, feel free to, or feel free just to put it into the host and panelist section as well. Not a problem either way. But the way that you explain what you do, the way that you show up, the way that you come out there and you tell people what it is that you're doing, whether it's online or offline, one of the most important things that you can get right. And it's not about saying, I help X do Y. No, it's like, look, what is the thing that people want from you? What is the outcome that you deliver? Like, that is where I would start more than anything. And so with it, we need to figure out what your people, the people that you're targeting, want. And then you have to learn how to communicate it in a way that is either interesting or different. And so, like, this is where so many people seem to get stuck right now. And so I'm going to ask you the question. You don't need to answer this for me. You just need to write it down and make sure that you reflect on it, right? You need to understand and really get clear on what it is that your target market want, right? Like, what is it that they want? And if you're a coach right now, I'm going to give you an example. Coaches, there's a number of you that say that you're coaches. You typically will have different solutions for different clients in your own mind. So you think, well, it depends on what they want. That's normally an answer that I get from lots of coaches. You need to figure out the real specific thing that comes up more often than not. So you need to have a look at patterns. You need to have a look at conversations. You need to track. And this is so easy to do. It's just taking a note down after every conversation that you have, right? There's so many opportunities to it. Steve, I'm building a face-to-face global business networking organization where we educate, motivate, develop, inspire. I love that. Absolutely awesome. That's going to be hugely valuable for lots of people. And I know that the reason that I went networking at the beginning, I still do it now, to be fair, quite a lot of it, especially when I'm back in the UK, was because I felt isolated. I felt completely and utterly isolated being a business owner. Like all my friends and family didn't get it. And so like every single day I was surrounded by people that actually didn't really get what I was trying to do. And so networking was my opportunity to get around people that spoke the same language as me. Out of interest, for those of you that are business owners on here, have you ever felt isolated? Like you're not really, put a yes in the chat if you've ever felt isolated before and felt like the people around you don't really get what it is that you're trying to do. Just genuinely curious to know what the feelings are. Number of you raising your hands, number of you saying yes. There's a lot of you out there. And so if I was marketing Steve's product, it would be all about isolation and getting rid of it and making people feel like they're going to be like working together with other people. Like getting that stuff down is like extremely important and has to become the forefront of that message. Because when you understand that, when you get known, should I say, for one specific thing and you go at it over and over and over and over again in lots of different ways, from that point, you will then start to land on different pieces of content, different marketing messages that then appeal to more and more people. These algorithms learn over time. It's one of the things that you've got to realize, one of the things that I've taught for a number of years. The more you feed these platforms with what it is that you're really interested in, i.e., what your business does if you're looking for revenue generation, the more it will start to find the people that are really interested in it. And so these strategies that people give you where it's like, I'm going to post a little bit of this, I'm going to do some personal content, I'm going to do a little bit of this, I'm going to do a little bit of that. What you're doing is confusing these platforms. And so like I would rather, and I've done this with loads of big channels over my time now, is focusing on one specific message and just find 1,000 different ways to talk about it. Because if you can do that, suddenly you can start to stand out. And so you've got to be able to talk about it every day, you've got to be passionate about it, really. You've got to have some enthusiasm. You've got to make sure that you go out there every single time and focus in on it every day. Because when you do, that's when suddenly people start to remember who you are and what you're about. Like when I was in the property space, I did a lot of Airbnb serviced accommodation type work. That was the business that we're in. We became the people to go to for that strategy. When I then moved and I grew an Instagram following, I made sure that every single day I spoke about Instagram, and I became the go-to person for Instagram for a very, very long time, for about 4 years. Every stage that I went on, I was the Instagram guy. And then suddenly it became, do you know what? Social selling and selling on social was the thing that actually we did really well. And so every single day I'm out there is like, look, how to sell on social, how to sell on social, how to sell. That's all I talk about. It's how to sell on social. Because that's the thing that I want these platforms to really get to know me from. There's loads of people out there doing it. So I've got to shout louder and I've got to do it more. And I've got to make sure that my message is clearer than anyone else's. This is like the biggest difference when it comes to social right now. And so if it's Instagram, if it's LinkedIn, if it's wherever it is, you've got to show up showcasing and demonstrating why people should listen to you. And if you're not, this is going to sound awful, but you just won't win. You won't get it because like the people out there right now, there's people out there doing it more at a higher volume with more energy. And that doesn't mean you have to spend hundreds of hours. You just need to do a few key things really well. And so I'm going to go into the offer bit. I'm going to speed through this bit because it isn't really social media related, but it is extremely important to understand that the way that you package up what it is that you're doing is more important. I have spoken at event after event about offers. There's loads of people out there now that talk about it. I've been speaking about the way that we package things for pretty much the whole time I've been doing this, for about 5 and a bit years, right? Like, and I've been focusing in on it a lot. This was a talk that I did at Lloyd's Bank. I'll go in there normally every single quarter and I talk to their startup business world around selling on social, because so many people are just, unfortunately, don't understand that it's not about shortcuts. It's not about AI. It's not about any of that. It's about showing up in the way that you do offline, online. And for some reason, whenever people do that, typically they get boring, rigid, stuck, and feel like they just aren't really themselves. And so one of the things that we have to do is find a way for you to be able to show up as the most passionate, most enthusiastic, most energetic version of you so you can start standing out on these news feeds. Really, really important. These are some questions that I'm not going to read through, but they're just some questions for you to have a look at, right? So you've got the top one there about the problem, right? You've also got like the creating and understanding the desires that your customers have. And I'm going to tell you something around like my product in a second that you will be really, really fascinated to know. But the moment you get your offer right, suddenly everything becomes so much easier. And to give you an example of this, these are a couple of different rooms where I've spoken about this in, from our own mastermind to a room that's about 200 people in that room, I think, that on that day, maybe a bit less, maybe 150. But like with my offer, right? And again, with it, we're going to really breeze through this bit. It's not just me either. It's lots of other people. I spoke to somebody. This slide I did about a week ago. So it's about a week and a half ago now. And let me know if this sounds familiar. I spoke to someone that was like on the verge of literally giving up. I genuinely fed up of this not working. They'd made a sale about 2 and a bit months ago, but there was 2 customers that they'd signed. They both came from recommendations, and they just felt like social media wasn't worth it. Anyone felt like social media just isn't worth it before? Give me a yes if you have. I'm just genuinely curious to see what the split is of the room. I've been told by hundreds of people in my time that social media is a complete and utter waste of time. I mean, I definitely don't think that, purely because of kind of what we've gone on to do. But one of the biggest problems that so many have is that no one actually understands what it is that you're selling. I've had people that come to us selling personality profiling tests and leadership development services. Great example, this, right? What does it actually tell me? How many other people sell personality profiling tests? I'm sitting there like, why would I ever buy that from you? And when we actually dove a little bit deeper to the stuff that he was working on with his clients, actually had nothing really to do with personality profiling. That was a thing that he thought everybody wanted, and they really didn't. What he actually did was he'd helped 3 businesses get to the point of exiting in 9 months after working with them. I'm like, well, why don't you just become the person that people go to when they're looking to exit a company? Like, you're extremely good at it. Sometimes these things are really easy to say and harder to do, because you know what? I was somebody that struggled with this. So with my offer, I used to sell an Instagram 2-day course, and I used to struggle to sell it. You can see it's 5 or 6 people in the room. I used to have a price point about 500 quid. So I used to make 3 grand per masterclass after a serious amount of hustle. I used to do 1 a month. And with that, the venue would cost me 1 grand, food and drink a bit more. By the time that I paid for fuel, I was making maybe 1,200 quid an event. And I was just like, there's got to be an easier way to doing it. And so, I mean, you know what happened in March 2020. I was forced to stop doing this and make a change. And I remember sitting down and I spoke about my offer and I started to study it a bit more. And I took the exact 2-day Instagram content that I was running in that course and I broke it down over 30 days. And I changed the title from Instagram course to how to gain 1,000 followers in 30 days challenge. I sold it for 300 quid. So I framed it as £10 a day. And with it, the following month, so March was a launch period for me. It was a bit slower. I think I did about 4 or 5 grand in sales. But in April, I did organic marketing. So I started to post Instagram Reels. So if you're wanting Instagram advice, Instagram Reels is the only content you should be creating right now. So I ran a launch campaign. I ran webinars and I sold and I generated. That's the most amount of money that I'd made in a month the whole time that I'd been doing kind of like social media consulting at that point. And you can see I ran a couple of webinars and the spikes were there. But that came from the right content campaign, which again is still working today, the right webinar campaign, which is one of the campaigns that we run, but most importantly, not selling an Instagram 2-day course and instead selling an outcome-based service, which was how to get 1,000 followers in 30 days. And so when you get that offer right, and you've got to get that offer right, you then identify the vehicle to sell that offer. So in that example, I utilized my social media traffic and drove it to a webinar, right? One of the things that we've got to realize is that none of us are on social media to buy things. There are 2 reasons normally why the majority of us are on social media. Number 1 is for our own selfish reasons, right? So selfish reasons. We're all out there to do business, right? We're all out there trying to generate stuff for ourselves, especially as business owners. Do you know what the second reason is? Does anyone want to have a guess about what the second reason is? as to why we're all on social media. And this accommodates for pretty much every single person that I've ever spoken to in the history of me being doing this. Like, have a little guess, a couple of you. Come on, let's have a guess and see what it is. Check out competitors. That's a good guess. Graham, you feel like you're cheating. I feel like you've heard me say this before. For entertainment, waste time, bang on. Everyone's now chiming in, right? I absolutely love it. The number one reason why we're all on social media is because we're bored. And so we pick up the phone. Some of you, I guarantee, have probably even picked up your phone whilst I've been talking already. And how long have I been going for now? Nearly half an hour. I guarantee some of you have already picked up your phone and scrolled once or twice. I told some of you to go to LinkedIn. You probably got distracted when you went onto LinkedIn. It happens. And so with it, one of the things that we've got to realize is look, if we're on it for that reason, so are other people. So we've got to figure out a way to be able to move them from a distracted environment to a place where we've got their attention, or at least the majority of people's attention. And Odile and Jessica both went through this with getting their processes in place. You utilize these social media platforms as traffic sources, a place to connect with potential clients. Do not try to sell directly on the platform unless you have a product-based business and you can use things like TikTok Shop and Instagram Shop. If you can use those platforms and you've got products to sell, then great. If you haven't, your job is to grab the attention and then move them as quickly as possible off the platform. And you do that with what we call controlled conversion campaigns. If you want to write that down, the language that we use, that you'll hear me talk about all the time on YouTube and on any other platform, is you need to build a controlled conversion campaign. And I'm going to show you an example of that in a second. But conversion is what you need to understand. I run on just my account alone, and we typically see between 15 to 20 clients every month. Well, I was about to say every week. It's probably not that volume. Every month now. And those services range from £50 a month all the way up to £500 a month. We don't sell high ticket at the moment. That's kind of like our ballpark. But webinars, audits, free strategy calls, I have different campaigns from content to messaging to email that drives people through to a point where they get the opportunity to buy from us. 80% of the traffic typically comes from our email list. So our opportunity, 80% of that opportunity comes from our email list. 20% of it comes directly off social media. And then we utilize the assets. So if it's a webinar, we utilize the replay like we did. We've done this now for 4 months. It's over 50 calls now. But over the last 3 months back in April, we generated 48 sales calls just from a replay that sits on YouTube. And so once you understand your offer, you need to think about and backtrack the journey. And this is an example. Now, this is small. And with it, for those of you that have messaged workshop to me on LinkedIn, I'm going to send you a copy. I mean, would you like a copy of it? Before I did, would you like a copy if I was to send you this via direct message on LinkedIn? Would it be useful for you to be able to see a copy of this? Because I know it is small. But I'm going to talk you through it anyway. So for those of you, if you just message me on LinkedIn, I'll send it to you. But here you can see you've got connection, this is like a LinkedIn campaign. So it's a LinkedIn and a webinar campaign. So I've got my LinkedIn profile that has network building and direct messaging. I then have content that goes through both short form video and also long form video, which I actually have on YouTube. I don't have that on LinkedIn. But that then drives people so I can then take control. And control means get the first bit of data. And with that, then I begin to nurture. So I give them a lead magnet, which adds value. I also give them value-based educational videos, which again, get them to understand a bit about who I am and what we do. I then drive them to an email list. This stuff, all automated. I don't do anything with it manually. I set it up and it works in the background. The email list then has an automated email campaign that goes out. That then drives people to a webinar opt-in, whether it is live or it's pre-recorded. And they then go through to a sales page, or either an application form or a checkout page. Like it is just connected end to end. We start at the beginning, we put enough traffic at the beginning, and if it's high ticket, it's lower volume, right? You don't need as many. But the volume bit at the beginning, you just need to understand what number you need to then drive through, because the percentages then mean that less and less people get through. Some people call this a funnel. Some people call this a customer journey. At the end of the day, it's a marketing and a sales process. It is just how you take a stranger to becoming a customer. That is it. But lots of people try to go from here to here, and they try to go from connection to close too early and therefore push people away. That is not what we do. That is not how you generate consistent business. It's the biggest thing that I've learned over the last 5 and a bit years of doing it. What we have to do is help build you a process that gives you the numbers to understand whether it is working or it is failing. If it's failing, you work on the stuff where the numbers are at the lowest. If it's succeeding, you just double down and keep going and going and going until it begins to fatigue. This process is what separates the biggest businesses in the world from complete and utter failure businesses in the past. When you get this right, suddenly you just turn the tap on at the front end if you want to grow, and you turn it off if you want to stay a bit still and you want to try and concentrate on different things. This is all about process. And so many people spend all the time at the front end on social and forget about this. So once you understand what your process is, you draw it out, you can then set up your campaign. And that involves creating assets that work on your behalf. One of the biggest things that we help people with is getting these assets right. So your process and assets working together is the stuff that's going to allow you to scale. So it's not you having to do everything all the time. You create assets that work on your behalf. And I've worked with lots and lots of people over my time. These are a few people that have got completely different businesses. So I've tried to use different industries. So Sasha ran a virtual assistant business, and building that process and understanding the right lead magnets, the right conversion pieces of content to create, and also the right customer journey to build, went from doing like 2 to 3 grand a month to hitting 100 grand in a second year. And she's now running an agency with over 50 clients on now. Jamie's one of our most successful, but also our most extreme clients in the same way. Jamie, like within 3 months of starting, had done close to like 50 or 60 grand. And that was building the process together with it. And again, the results that he's got is insane. But again, getting the offer right and the sales process right was the difference maker, nothing else. You've got to build that process. I know it sounds boring, but sales process genuinely is, if you're looking for a secret, it is the secret. Getting that thing set up and working for you is the secret. Darren Powell, again, you can check him out on Instagram. So getting the right Instagram strategy, Instagram Reels and direct messaging with Instagram stories to nurture your audience. Instagram stories to nurture, Instagram Reels to grow, right? To grow, and then direct messages to take control of the campaign. You drive them through then to the beginning of your sales process. Darren did a webinar on this one, but he also did a demo type campaign. So he gave something for free, let them experience it, and then upsold afterwards. This is consistency, people, right? Now, again, I don't care if you're wanting to get to 30 grand months, whatever it is, whether that's 3 grand or 2 grand, it doesn't really matter. If you want consistency, the process is what matters, and you need to understand what that process is going to be for you. Because if you don't have one, you will see and struggle to see consistency. We have worked with startups, we've worked with companies the size of MasterCard and FedEx, and these processes are what we focus in on getting airtight. So many miss and leave so much opportunity on the table because they don't have one. And then with it, once you've got it built, so you've got the lead magnets in place, you've got your email list in place, this literally is like 2 weeks work. It's not that difficult. It's so straightforward to do. You then start executing. So if it's LinkedIn, you've got to build your audience up. So you build your network. If it's Instagram, you've got to build your following. If it's Facebook and you're utilizing groups, you've got to get into groups. Right? It's really not that hard. You've just got to improve, try it, improve, and get better and better. And again, I've got some examples for you now. Building your audience. Every single day, you've got to understand what your audience number is. So I'm going to ask you now, at this current point in time, how many connections or followers do you currently have? So currently, when I first started, should I say, I had around about 2,500 followers, right? Now, with my Instagram, with my LinkedIn, with my Facebook, with my YouTube, that is closer to, I think it's around about 86,500 at the time that I checked. That is in 5 years of doing it. Now, that is because I focus in on that number every single day. Who focuses in on a number and tracks it every single day right now? If you don't, that is your first thing that you need to be looking at from a social media point of view. Every day that should be moving in the right direction. If it's not growing, you're not doing the right things and you need to understand what to change. Have to. Think of business development, though, in 2 phases. You've got attention and you've got interest. And direct messaging is what I use to drive interest. It's how I generate lots and lots of business. Like there's 100 messages that go out on my accounts every single day without fail. You've got to get your messages seen. You've then got to get them read, and you've then got to get them responded to. And Piers is someone that's done this extremely well. I've spoken about Piers in a couple of different webinars because outreach is his thing, and he has utilized our messaging structures. So our direct messaging structure, people sell these wham bam special formulas. I literally am just a human online talking to other humans. So you frame your message as if it is how you speak. It's really not difficult, but each person, you can use the structure and you just put it in your own words, into your own things, and you create what people want. It's really not that hard, but then you set it up so it works on your behalf every single day. Like outreach, like the reason why we see consistent business is because every day without fail, 50 to 100 messages are sent every single day. And whether that's cold email, whether that is LinkedIn, it all works. Everything works as long as you have the right message. You've just got to get the right message in place. And Piers actually was sent me this message only the other week, actually, and I used it in my other workshop. I've used it today because it's important. Perhaps we could share a little bit wider. Honestly, you'll never fully appreciate how much you've changed my life for the positive. I literally see new bookings in my diary every day. He only sees that, though, because he does the messaging at volume. And you've got to get these working for you. Like for my response rates at the moment are around about 6 to 10%. And people tell me they don't get responses. I've got around about 200 messages to respond to when I get off this, and I'm not going to get through them all. There's too many. I've got 265 unread messages there that I haven't gone through yet. I need to get through them. But with it is opportunity to then nurture. And like people tell me they get told that messaging is, look at all the thank you messages I get. Like with it, that's because my messaging is about giving. It's not about taking. And that is a mindset shift that so many people need to have. And inside of our membership, we run Q&As on this all the time, right? So again, outreach is something that people want. This was one of them. We had 42 people attend it. It was on a Monday at 12 p.m. And we run others of Thursday at 2 p.m., Monday at 12, Thursday at 2. And every single time we're doing live workshops, live training, live Q&As with it. So direct messaging and building your audience has to play a part. We then have posting, and posting is not just about sharing information or personal funny content, trying to get some impressions. That is not what it is about. It is about finding an angle. It is about finding something in your space that needs to be spoken about in a way that people are going to be conversing and debating with you. Most people give you advice that I've seen on the internet, like you just need to document your journey. You need to share your wins. And I'm like, you need to understand that content creation, because there is more of it on the internet than ever before, it's more complex than just documenting your journey, because in reality, nobody cares about your journey. Like you guys are on here right now, you don't care about my journey, really. The only thing that you care about, and I'm setting something that's extremely biased, right? If I don't demonstrate success in growing a business, which is why I document my success growing a business, I've got no credibility. But if you're selling recruitment services right now, if you're selling networking right now, like your journey really is irrelevant. What you've got to share is why you're different. Like, what is it that makes you actually someone worth listening to? How can you showcase the impact that you make? Steve Ball just put it there, the outcomes. How can you share the outcomes that you deliver in a way that's interesting? And that requires testing. Extremely simple to do, but it requires a lot of testing. And when you do it over and over and over again, this is why I say to people, do you need to post every day? No. Should you though? Well, if you want to see social working, yes. Michael Anderson has just put in their testimonials. Testimonials, yes, but framed in the right way. People share testimonials all the time. But again, why do I care about a testimonial? You've got to make it something. And you think about a testimonial, there's a story there. People are interested in stories. People are interested in like actually how other people have gone from A to B. Because that way, if you can show how someone's gone from A to B, the other person can look at that selfishly and go, right, if I look at that, I can now look at how to go from A to B. So you position that journey in a way that's interesting, suddenly your impressions will go up. And I can tell you this, if you're not getting more than 1,000 impressions or reaching 1,000 people per post right now, unfortunately, the content that you're creating is not interesting enough. And that sounds really hard. It doesn't matter if you've got 200 followers. I'm going to be showing you an example in a second. It doesn't matter how big your following is. If you've got more than 100 followers right now, and you're not like getting to 1,000 impressions or more, unfortunately, your content isn't good enough and it needs to improve. And doing more of it, unfortunately, is only going to get you the same results that you're getting. Like, we set you all a target with anyone that works with us. It's in the next 365 days, we're getting you to 1 million impressions. Because why wouldn't you if you knew how? Is anyone here interested in getting to 1 million impressions? Some of you might already be there, right? But 1 million impressions, how much more opportunity is that going to give you? And I don't care, all of these people out there that say these vanity metrics don't matter. Impressions are not vanity. Impressions are eyeballs on what it is that you're doing. So if you've only got 100 people seeing what it is that you're doing versus 10,000 people, you're going to want 10,000 people. You'd be mad not to. And then people come up with me, well, I'd rather 100 of the most relevant people than 10,000 are not relevant. Well, if it's 10,000, I can guarantee there's a hell of a lot more than 100 interested people in that 10,000 audience, because you cannot tell me that 100 of those people are all interested in what you've got to do. And so your target is 1 million impressions in 365 days. Everybody can get there, no matter the platform. You can get there. I've had people out here that, again, you can see some of my impressions. Now, I've tried to pick the average ones, right? So I've not picked the ones which have got 100, 150,000 on, because they were viral topic posts that, unfortunately, like, I wouldn't recommend you posting about like all the time, because that doesn't share the impact that you have. The rest of these, though, share what we do. They do it in a humorous way. They do it in an educational way, but they also drive lots of conversation, which then helps drive it further. And with it, at the time, I had the minimum that one of these posts went out, I had around 15,000 followers. The maximum was 26,000. But with it, it's not just us. 7,000 to 7,600. Philippa was talking about neurodiversity, reached 458,000 people. Right? Again, with it, joined my first call yesterday, got my first win, rewrote my intro post, and with the help of Nick's tweak, sent it out to the world of LinkedIn, got a DM message saying that from a guy I worked with years ago, I was so happy. Never get DMs from it. Zoe, 880 followers. 133,000 impressions with a dog-related post, but you can see here, to create dog-focused holiday lets. It was relevant. We found the angle, or should I say she found the angle. Found the angle, and bang, opportunity comes. Because out of those 133,000 people, there were people that are interested in working with her. She just needed enough people to see it. These numbers also bring, unfortunately, perceived credibility. And so with content, if you're not seeing those numbers, you need to learn how to get it better. When you do, you can then look to automate as much as possible. Here's also a big thing. If you're using things like ChatGPT to write your content right now with no changes, you're on the shortcut to failure. Sounds really horrible, but I'm here to only tell you the truth now. ChatGPT is not a content creation machine. Use it for ideas, but never take away your voice. No matter how much you train these platforms, do not take away and lose your voice, because you're going to fall into this black hole of noise and never see the opportunity that you actually deserve. We need to get the best version of you out there. But we then need to automate the processes so you've got more time to spend getting the best version of you out there. And so automation is this big taboo subject, and I genuinely don't think it needs to be. Time is the most precious asset that we've got. From network building, it's automated. Direct messaging, automated. Email marketing, automated. Even people buying and onboarding is automated for us. There is so much that you can do that just lots of people don't realize. And once you've proven that your process works, you can then utilize technology to help you reduce the amount of admin. Getting this time back is one of the most important things, because you cannot spend the time that you need to succeed online and offline if all you're doing is button pressing on social media. So automate as much as you can. We use platforms like MeetAlfred, MEETALFRED. We use platforms like that to automate our direct messaging and network building. It's been brilliant for the last few years that I've been using it. I've never had any difficulty with it. I've never had any challenges with it. It's been great. But I utilize that platform to then drive people to either booking calls with me or to joining what it is that we're doing. And that goes across a number of different businesses that we work with. When we work with any of our membership or any of our academy members, the same thing, we build you a 30-day plan together. So you work through the training, we have a 30-day plan. That 30-day plan helps you build that process. And that process can be anything from webinars to audits to one-to-one discovery calls. You just need to understand what the endpoint's going to be. In this example, Angie generated 11K in sales from the 17 calls that she booked from one webinar. She was then able to set a date for a next one, implement the feedback that we gave her inside the community. So you can see the sort of feedback that we're giving is very, very in-depth. We then set new targets, reviewed it, analyzed it, and went again. She then got another 3 signups with 14 more calls booked in after that. The sales process is what worked. And that's what we all need to do. If you're on here right now wanting more opportunity, the sales process is what you've got to get right. So you get your message right, your marketing message. You then create that conversion piece of content, whether it's an audit, a discovery, something that allows people off of social media to see the impact that you make. We then build the email list every single day. We then create the offering. And with it, we then remove everything else and 100% commit to it. With it, it's just about applying it. And I'm not going to sit here and read all of these like messages about how great I am, because it's tedious and quite cringeworthy. So I'm going to cover that up. But you can see here, like, has anyone out here got an Apple Watch? Give me a yes if you're an Apple Watch, by the way. Just give me a yes if you've got an Apple Watch. Perfect. And just because somebody has really concerned me, Kathy's just said, are you sharing the screen because I can only see you? Can you give me a 1 if you can see my screen, please? I'm going to be seriously worried if you can't see my screen. You can. Okay. So, Kathy, I'm not too sure what's going on your end. I don't know whether it's a technical thing, but everyone else can see my screen. So, yes, I am sharing screen just for reference. And we've got some Apple Watch users here. One of my biggest things that I wanted to build, so inside of our system, what we are building at the moment is a system that allows us to keep ourselves accountable. Because getting that Apple Watch for me is, I've been on this fitness journey since the beginning of the year, and I've never been as consistent as I am. And ironically, because I've been this consistent, I've lost quite a lot of weight. I'm the leanest that I've been. I'm the most healthiest that I've ever been. But this now, I apply it in the same way to business. I've got certain things that need to happen every single day. And they're almost like, I visualize that they're like my rings, right? That I've got to hit. And when I do them, that then just compounds every single day without fail. And that consistency is what we drive in our community to every single person that's a part of it. You've got to make sure that you hit the numbers. We want to help you build a business that you're in control of, one that works for you rather than you always working for it. Right? Extremely important. So we want to hold you accountable to implement the stuff that we know works that I've just been through today. And so, like, the Social Selling Academy is something that I'm going to talk to you about for about a couple of minutes, right? But this is where we will teach you the exact steps you need to take to build a business like so many people. So it doesn't matter if you're a startup or if you're doing 100 grand a year. We've worked with and have businesses in our membership that tick that box. 100 grand a month, sorry, not year. Like, it doesn't matter what position you're in. We also help you create content that people are going to see, allowing them to see the best version of you, not the most boring version of you. We're going to help you remove yourself, if you are in this position, as the marketing and sales bottleneck. So we're going to help you build process and build system. We're going to teach you button click by button click, showing you how to grow at a speed that's right for you. We're going to help you build that process. And we've removed all this complicated marketing jargon so anybody can do it, and then give you the same freedoms that we have earned from the previous businesses that we have built. We also, inside of our community, hold you accountable. So I am sharing every single day what we are doing, so you can then also implement it and sell on socially in a human-like way. We remove all of the excuses. We give you the advice that you need to hear, not that you just want to hear. We will tell you what we'll believe will work, and most importantly, what we believe is a waste of time. We're going to show you how we have built the businesses we've been a part of over the last decade. So I've only been doing this for 6 years. Nick's been in business for over 20, built and sold companies in and sold them for multi-millions of pounds. And so with it, we've got him as a mentor inside every single day, helping you as well. We just simply need you to listen to what we say and apply it. Feed us back the data, and we will then tell you what you need to do. So all you're going to do is show up, be there, do it, and give us the feedback and ask for help. And you will succeed like the hundreds of others that are inside that community right now. Angie is someone I spoke about earlier, and she's given this bit of feedback, and I think it's really simple. If you ever work with Chris, it's very simple. Just listen to me. Do as I say and trust the process. That is all I ask of you, is just trust the process. Every month we release new, it's actually more like every week at the moment, but every month minimum, we are releasing new updated trainings, teaching you what's working. So from getting started, to getting business clarity, conversion webinars, direct messaging, building your LinkedIn audience, Instagram, becoming the go-to in your industry, starting and growing a YouTube channel. We teach it all, and we're adding to it all the time from the stuff that we're learning. And for less than £2 a day, you will no longer need to think about if you're doing it right. We will tell you in our group trainings inside the community, every Monday at 12 p.m., every Thursday at 2 p.m., there is an hour-long training. We work you inside of our platform to kind of drive you forward. We give you the confidence to start showcasing the best version of you. We're going to tell you what's working and what isn't. And with it, we have the time to be able to give you, unlike so many others, promising the world and delivering absolutely nothing that we're seeing right now. The biggest difference is that we are truly disrupting a marketplace with this. And I mean that with the bottom of my heart. Like, genuinely, the feedback that we get, you only have to look at my LinkedIn profile. You'll see so much of it on there. For those of you that are networkers, we also know how lonely being in business is. Every quarter, we bring together 20 of our top performers to a room. So we do this in Birmingham. And this is like not just like any other networking event. We are masterminding in this, helping people collaborate, helping people do business. And we are really committing to growing this thing this year. And for our masterminds, all we do is say is you help pay for a bit of the venue and pay for food and drink. So it's £100 to come along to that. Today with it, it's £50 a month, right? We give you templates. We also give you our software, which has got landing pages, email marketing is coming, link tracking is coming, task management is coming. We are building software, and your price will never change apart from the email marketing thing, which you may need to pay for more emails. That is it. But everything else on here is £50 a month. There is no contract. There is just a 30-day notice period if you want to leave. That is it, right? £50 plus VAT per month. I'm also giving a little bit of a bonus today. The first 10 of you that join us are also going to get a one-to-one personal feedback / review on your business and marketing sales process. So you will send through to us everything that you're doing, and me and Nick are going to work through it together. And we're only doing 10 because of the time over the next couple of weeks. But we're going to review your exact position. We're going to highlight your gaps and give you a full breakdown of what we believe you need to do to start selling it immediately. So it's for the first 10 purely because of the time that we've got allocated to it. Please note that this feedback is no BS. So if we don't like something, you don't have to take our advice, but we will feed it back to you anyway. And if we see alternative ideas, we will then also suggest them for you. So this is the thing that so many people have been asking for. We can't do it for everyone because of time, but we will do it for as many as you as we can, which is 10 for this session. We have now included this like to give you the best chance, but there's also more. The second thing I'm going to give you is a 60-minute client acquisition strategy session. So this is where we come together. It's a small, intimate group. For those of you that join before midnight tonight, we're going to get together as a group, and I'm going to talk you through your offer, your sales process, and your message. We're going to be able to interact. You're going to be able to ask me questions. You're going to be able to get detail from me. We're going to do it together. There's going to be around probably maybe 8 to 10 of us, I reckon, maximum, inside of that room for the hour, going through exactly what we all need to change. This is where the generating revenue in 7 days come into place, because that plan that you take away will see the results. That this is why there's so much success that I'm sharing with you right now. And so today, to be able to join, there is a link, right? And I know a couple of you have already gone through. What I'm going to do, I'll answer those questions in a second because there's a few of them coming through. I'm typing. There you go. So it's socialselling.co.uk/join. Now, I'm just going to go through here. Kanika, do we need all the platforms like MailerLite and ActiveCampaign? I'm not using these probably at the moment. So do we need all the platforms? No. So one of the things that we are doing is building the email marketing into it. So you can use ours and it will be included. That is probably about a month or so away. So what we say is you won't need ActiveCampaign because it's quite a premium service. It's quite expensive. I would keep your expenses as low as possible. MailerLite or MailChimp, they're two of probably the cheaper versions until you start having lots of emails in. So with it, you start there for free. You then pay the low subscription cost. You will need something like an email marketing tool like that. unless you're going to use ours when it launches. That is it. Okay. Will there be any teaching like reels and setting up systems? Yeah, that is exactly what we do teach. So again, with it, our Instagram course is literally being updated. I think it's either, I'm doing it either next week or the week after. So again, with it, there is Instagram like training in there. There's over, I think, 2 hours of it that I've done about a year or so ago. But I'm now re-recording the reels trade because it's changed quite a bit. And setting up the systems, yes, there's tutorials in there and more of them as we're coming through as well. One of the biggest things we also ask for is feedback from you. So if there's anything that you want adding, anything that you want amending, any help that you need, as long as you ask us, we'll be able to do it. Some people also want to know with this, it's not been asked today, normally it is, like, can you book in one-to-one calls with us? Yes, you can. So one-to-one calls for us, there's a small fee for them to be able to speak one-to-one with us, but it's nothing compared to the thousands of pounds that people are charging right now for this level of support anyway. So yes, you can just book off a one-off session and have conversations with us as well, but we'll talk about more about that on the strategy session. So that is it. I've tried to rattle through that as quickly as I possibly can. There's some questions in the Q&A box that I'm going to go through. Would I be able to share a copy of the presentation? I'll be able to get the recording out, not a problem at all. Yes, we do, Thomas. We do help structure the offer 100%. That is one of the most important bits, and we go through it. It's all in getting business clarity. I help dads manage their time between their business and their family without guilt or panic. Yeah, it's exactly that. So we work through that step by step together. So there's 4 of those spots already gone, just so you know. So with it, there is still 6 more slots available for that one-to-one personal feedback from me and Nick, if you would like it. If there's any more questions, please ask away because we've got a couple of minutes. I've tried to give you the real detail around the process today because I think it's the bit that so many people are missing, and that is the difference maker. I can't shout it louder. Those people that are spending all this time on this stuff. Yes, it is, Catty. Exactly that. It's for people that are either brand new, just starting, or people that are experienced. We've got a big variety in there. With it, as long as you're willing to listen and willing to apply what we say and also give things a go, because I think confidence can be a thing. So we help with that. How does this work if your business is selling for clients? In the same way. So if you're selling for clients, how you frame what they do and actually bring about the marketing message, how they market and build an audience, how they then build a process that converts it, like how you then sell and how you close, all of that stuff is skills that can really help you sell better for your clients. So again, with that, if you do have any questions, feel free to drop me a message on LinkedIn if you want some more clarity around it. But with it, yes, it's just £50 plus VAT per month. There is no other expenses there at all. And that gives you access to everything. And yes, I know there are people out there charging a lot more. And so it's like, well, will I get the right value for this? Cheap doesn't always mean good. I promise you, come and experience it. You'll see that we could and have charged higher amounts in the past. We don't do it anymore because actually we don't need to. We're in a very fortunate position. And so with it, we want to try and build something that's got as many people utilizing it as possible, and it then naturally grows itself as well. So yes, we teach affiliate marketing. Yes, we teach social media marketing. Yes, we teach networking. Yes, we teach public speaking. Like all of that stuff is stuff that we talk about. We do 2 Q&As a week, 2 training sessions a week, live training every single month. We have tried to include everything possible for the cheapest amount possible so good people get the opportunity to actually apply this stuff without being charged thousands of pounds. Is there a set teaching in the sessions? How long will it take to get set up? So on average, it takes people about 2 to 3 weeks to get set up, Kanika, because there's depends how new you are. So there's stuff like email marketing, like the basics of email lists. There's stuff about getting your LinkedIn audience growing or Instagram audience growing. There's things that you need to do, but 2 to 3 weeks is like the bare bones of the process setup. As long as you watch the videos and you ask us questions, we need you to interact with us because you won't get there on your own without the support. I just need to caveat that because everyone needs the advice. Everyone needs somebody from the outside, just looking in, giving them a bit of insight into what they do. For those of you that are in, we've now got 3 spots left. With that, Tom, great to have you with us. Those of you, we've got 3 spots left for the one-to-one service. Now, again, I'm going to shut up shop in a minute. So with it, you'll see amazing and awesome stuff. Kanika, I have website, mail on active campaign, not integrate. So that's one of the things. As long as you can talk to us about in the community about what you're doing. And again, with it, there's a couple more spots that one-to-one review, Kanika, so we can talk through in the feedback. We'll give you the written feedback around how to get it all integrated. The training of it, you won't need MailerLite and Active Campaign. They do the same thing. Active Campaign is a more premium CRM. So with it, it's something that we just need to have a conversation around. Website, 100% totally fine. You may need to do some amendments to it. Amazing. We've now got one more spot left, which is great. Cool. Guys, thank you so much for your engagement today. You are absolutely awesome. You will receive communications from us around kind of like the next steps with it as soon as you join. So you'll get email confirmations. Our community manager, Elise, will be in touch with you. So please keep an eye on emails and also any calls that come through, because we will be in contact with you. Thoughts on Go High Level? Great platform, quite pricey, great affiliate marketing option with it. I think lots of people spend too much time on these platforms, Steve, is my honest opinion. I think people procrastinate and miss out on opportunity as a result. So I like the platform. They all kind of do the same thing. Go High Level, ClickFunnels, Kartra, Kajabi, all very similar. But with it, yeah, I think it's something which people overcomplicate and they don't need to. Guys, thank you so much for today. Have an amazing day, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.